Hello everybody and welcome back. I am here again on Forza Horizon 3 for another rallycross build. Now today I have one of the vehicles from the new Smoking Tires car pack. If you got the ultimate version of Forza Horizon that include the car pass, you'll get this for free. So yeah, I got this with the ultimate version of Horizon. So I figured I'd take one of the vehicles out around our rallycross track. Now, the cars that we've had so far is our leader, the Dodge Daytona, that's at a 107.6. We haven't really had a proper off-road vehicle in the series yet, so I wanted to see how this would fare. Now, we're going to be able to be building it up to A class. It starts off mid D class, so plenty of room for upgrades. The only other car that we've really had close to this for off-road ability is the Renault Alpine, which set a time of a 109.2. So I'm not sure how this thing's going to fare. I'd like to see it go fairly quickly. It is, what did I back out of that? It is all-wheel drive. So as per the rules, we are not going to be changing up the drivetrain. That'll help us with traction out of the corners and so on and so forth. I'm not sure if the standard engine will get us to the top of A class. It only has 151 horsepower from standard. I don't know how much power it can get. This is my first time using it. I'm just going to look at the engines. We have the 6.2 liter V8 and the 8.4 liter V10. If we have to put something, I'm thinking maybe the V8, the V10 is a little bit much, plus it's heavier, V8 is lighter, but I will go through and put all of the handling parts on before we get to that point. Ooh, we could have a bull bar with a winch, but I'm going to be going for the Forza Aero, because I'm not sure how this will handle, so I'm going to want all of the downforce I can get. Just removes drag. Not going to bother with any of that. That should save us a little bit of weight. It also gives us some pretty interesting looking lights up there. I'll take that because it reduces the weight, and this thing, it's not the lightest thing ever. It's 2,200 pounds, so it's not bad considering it's an off-road vehicle, but it is quite small, so yeah, I don't really have much of a problem with the weight right now, but yeah, we'll see how that comes into factor when we take it around the circuit. I will be putting the rally tires and suspension on the vehicle. Get 235s in the front. I'm assuming we're going to get 235s all around. You usually get that with all-wheel drive vehicles, and yes, we are. So they're not the greatest tires. I would have liked to see 255, 265 on this. Not sure how it's going to deal with whatever power it has. It is all-wheel drive. That will help with deploying that power, but such small tires could cause us some issues. We could see some understeer. I'm just going to put all of this stuff on, try and dump out all of the weight, and just get the handling brought a bit. It is just now creeping up to getting close to D class. I don't know if we'll actually get into it with this. I'm assuming we will once we get the roll cage and weight reduction on. The roll cage adds 100 pounds, so that's not too bad. I wonder how much the weight reduction will take. 341, so we're under 2,000 pounds. I honestly didn't expect to see this under the 2,000 pound mark. So yeah, that's pretty impressive going, I think. Now, I'm not sure how much the standard engine will get us up to. I'm thinking if we're going to have any chance of the standard engine getting us up to the top of it, we are going to have to aspirate it. But yeah, I'm thinking we're going to go for the turbos just because it does give us that little bit more power, so I'm going to go for those. I don't think this is going to be a ridiculously powered vehicle. We're at 180 horsepower. I'm thinking maybe around the 300 or so horsepower mark, but it depends on how much power we actually get from some of these parts. Okay, so that adds on 10 pounds for an extra 3 horsepower. I think I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'll go with that because I think we're going to need the PI. These parts aren't adding an insane amount of power. We're only just up over the 200 horsepower mark. I was hoping these 84 horsepower, it's pretty good going. We're at 300. Just gonna quickly take a look at the turbos because I do kind of want to fit them on. We shall see. Power is slowly creeping up there. Now remember the Renault Alpine when it went around, it didn't have a massive amount of power either because it was relatively light. So it had a good power to weight ratio, so didn't really have to worry too much about the power affecting its run. But I'm not sure. I don't think we're actually going to get this to the top of A class. We're going to get close, but we only have the oil and cooling. Yeah, this isn't going to make it. The standard engine will not make it up to the top of A class with all of the upgrades, so we are going to have to go to the 6.2 liter V8. So yeah, we are not going to be able to aspirate it. Shoots the PI up way too much. So we'll just have to go to the engine and throw a couple upgrades on here. I do want to keep some of the weight out if possible. Can't get that in. That would get us close. How much would the flywheel add? Okay, so hopefully if I go like that and like that, it will stay in A class, and it will. Okay, so the Jeep Renegade has been built up to the top of A class. Kind of unfortunate I couldn't keep the standard engine. Had to go with the V8. Pretty decent power figures. We've seen similar power figures from most of the cars. I believe the Daytona and the Countach both had around the mid 400 horsepower mark. So yeah, not bad power. 442 horsepower, 442 foot-pounds of torque, all-wheel drive. Only weighs 1,854 pounds. If this can deploy its power and doesn't get understeer like crazy, I think this could go rather quick. Alright, we're back at the North Plains Scramble circuit to take the Jeep Renegade around for its 5 laps to see if it can beat the Dodge Daytona. Remember, the Daytona set a lap time of a 107.6. Off the line, it is to be as expected. It launches without any real problems. I mean, what do you expect? It's an all-wheel drive light vehicle with quite a bit of power, so yeah. Launches good. You can deploy the power out of the corners. That wasn't really my main concern. It was when we get to corners like this, are we going to be able to carry the speed? It's a little bit slow. I did take a bit too much speed into the corner. We've seen cars doing about 40 miles an hour around that corner. It does feel like there is quite a bit of understeer in it, but once you can fire it out of the corner, you can just put the power down so easily that, yeah, it's quite controlled. Let's see how it lands this jump. A little bit of bounce up on the landing, nothing too major, but you've seen the Daytona get a little unsettled coming out of that little water splash, getting bounced up coming out of it. We've seen this with the Renegade also, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Not a bad starting lap there, a 110, almost exactly. So, considering we only need to find an extra 3 seconds, and that wasn't a flying lap, I think this Renegade could go quite quickly. Another thing I kind of fear, it's a little bit wallowy on the suspension. Not as bad as I've seen from some cars, but it does move about on the suspension a little bit. Not really surprising, it does have a relatively high center of mass, high ride height, so yeah. I'm hoping that we don't see this tumble over at any point. There's not really any major points where it would. So just keep that in mind. If we don't... Oh, we got quite unsettled, and I can't control that. That got quite unsettled there. We landed in the water, and the back end kind of got bounced up, which threw the front end down, and then when we actually landed, I tried to get it composed, and kind of just spat us out sideways, so have to keep our eye on that also through that jump. Takes that jump fine. It is a little nose down, but yeah. Hopefully we can keep that under control and not have that issue again. Carrying good speed around that corner. Oh! Okay, that's another thing we're going to have to watch out for. Coming through there, carrying a little bit too much speed, like I just said in that last lap. Worrying about it going up on two wheels, it didn't fall over, but it definitely did get up on two wheels and got extremely unsettled, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. Yeah, it's easy to drive, I'll say that. Like, just going around the corners perfectly fine. There's not really any oversteer. There's a little bit of understeer to be expected. Just try and keep that under control. It really does not like landing in that water, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's just jumping too far into the water that's having problems or what it is. But yeah, at least we didn't spin it out. I did run a little bit wide out of the water splash, but that's fine. That lap was kind of scruffy anyways for the two-wheeled mount. Let's try and not repeat that this time. I'm just trying to push this vehicle as much as possible. Like I was saying, it is an incredibly easy vehicle to drive. So right there, that little transition, if you hit that at the right point, right amount of speed, it can send this Jeep up onto two wheels, which is quite interesting. But yeah, the Jeep is extremely easy to drive. No real oversteer, so you don't have to worry about that. You can boot it out of the corners perfectly fine. It doesn't spin the wheels. And yeah, it's relatively forgiving. The only thing that I think it has problem with is the landing of the jump. You have a little bit of a lift. That seems to have worked a lot better. Having a little bit of a lift just before you take off decreases your speed just enough so that it can be settled on the landing and doesn't bounce back up. We don't jump as far into the water splash. I have to watch this corner here. I was running wide a little bit. Oh, we got a little bit of a almost wheelie there. 107.8. We are so close to beating the Dodge Daytona that it's... I really want to find more time with this, but I'm not sure where I'm going to be able to find that extra little bit of time. This is the final lap. We only have to find about 0.2 of a second or so, and I ran a little bit wide into there. I outbraked myself a little bit, trying to make up as much time as I can with this Jeep, but I don't know, that last run was good. I couldn't really see many places that I messed up, but there is always the off chance that we are going to be able to find that little bit of extra time. A little bit of a scruffy line through there. I had a tiny, tiny lift. Risking it big time there, though. Really hoping I can run this lap as quick as possible and beat out that Dodge Daytona. Cross the jump and run towards the line. Oh, it's quick! Continue, yes. We have a new leader. I'm gotta say, when I first picked this vehicle, honestly, I really didn't know anything about it. Like, I was looking through my garage for vehicles and I saw a Jeep and I was like, didn't I get a new Jeep with the DLC or something like that? And I looked and I did. Literally, this is my first time driving it. I haven't driven it before this. So, yeah, it really surprised me how controllable it is. It did get bounced around a little bit on the jumps. You have to kind of find the right line, have a little bit of a lift so that it can just settle itself a little bit before it lands and doesn't get bounced up on the landing. But yeah, a 105.833 will move the Jeep Renegade up into first place, dispatching the Dodge Daytona. Now, as always, I will post all the times after the video, so you can have a look at them yourself. But until next time, goodbye.